everybody. It is time for our weekly Mortgage Minute with Tatiana, I believe, Lopez from Prosperity Home Mortgage. It's been a while. Hello.
Hey, Tatiana.
Hello. Happy 2025.
That's right. First one of the year. All right, ready?
Yes.
Okay. All right, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so everybody bear with us. We have a new camera and it kind of follows us as we move. It follows Kelly. Look at when she moves. So we're off center here. We're trying to figure out how that works. So just bear with us on that.
Okay, so first, I want to hear about the interest rates because I see no hat on you, but I feel like you should have a hat in particular from at least the last time we talked, what, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Tell us, my friend, what is going on?
Will be a naughty hat.
Happy
Did
cat.
you say
naughty cat
and cat? Okay, so let me. No technical difficulties. Wait. Okay. Can you see?
Yep, you got it.
Okay, perfect. All right. So the interest rate increased for the week of from January 3rd to 9th. Actually, they did go up in December despite the Fed cutting the interest rates. And you know, there are a couple of reasons why it happened. First, you know, the market is waiting to see how Trump's second term will impact the US economy and the housing market. And the second, mortgage rates tend to follow the 10-year Treasury yield, which has been rising in the past last month. So, and the third is it looks like the Fed is not gonna cut rates in January. So all that has negative effect on the mortgage rate. So they did go up 7.11% for conforming. Jumbo is a little bit better. It's at 7%. 15-year fixed conforming is at 7.25. Surprisingly, it's higher than 30-year fixed, and FHA 6.625. So yeah, the rates are rising right now. We'll see what happens. I guess everybody's waiting for inauguration and then what's gonna happen after that. But projections for this year in general, the rates are gonna be in 6%, which is lower than right now. So hopefully that's gonna be that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
See.
It's so tough to call with all the question marks in the air with a
new administration.
Yeah, a new administration and everything. I mean, it's like it's impossible to call that.
Well, and you bring up a good point, and I think it's important that people stop trying to call it because as they're sitting on the sidelines waiting for the rates to do what they're going to do, we're seeing the market activity start to pick up, multiple offers, high bidding again. So it's just costing people money to sit there.
That's right. That's what's not hard to call is the housing prices in our area going up.
Yeah. So
can I see the actually applications? Number of applications went up after the new year. I see more activities. I'm busy with new applications and contracts. You know, people writing contracts. So I would say, just like we've been preaching for a while, right? Marry the house, date the rates. We'll refinance.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, on our end, we're seeing the buyer activity. I'm just kind of slowly easing off the screen. We're seeing our buyer activity increase, and it's been kind of a little bit of a lull over the last 2 or 3 weeks, but now it's just been starting to pick back up again. So, so basically, stop trying to play the rate game and get out there. And if you want to buy, you need to go ahead and do it because it's costing you money to wait.
Yeah, you can always refinance.
That's right.
By the end of the video, we'll see only your right year or right.
Speak back over. But this new camera has a crush on her. It follows her everywhere.
Well,
see, look, now it's focused. Okay, anyway,
it's fine.
All right. Okay, we have an issue that came up in our mastermind about 3 weeks ago, and we haven't done a market report since then. But when we moved up here from Florida, Florida was going through a horrible issue with wind mitigations and roofs, and buyers had to buy houses and get insurance, and insurance companies would not insure those houses unless the roof was new.
Mhm.
From my understanding, we haven't come across it in one of our deals yet, but from my understanding, there are more and more buyers that are having difficulty getting insurance based on age of roof here in Northern Virginia.
And then that goes into, we all know that their mortgage is only going to be approved once they have that homeowner's insurance in place. So
Yeah.
we were hoping you could shed some light on all of this.
Yeah, especially for buyers that waive their finance contingency
Mhm.
because they're well qualified, but
That's
then
a
they
good
can't
point.
get insurance. Like, how do we play that? How does that play out? So what say you, oh goddess of lending?
Yes.
Don't do that to our camera, it's gonna go all crazy.
It's true. I've seen more and more issues coming up with roof problems because not roof problems, but the problem of roofs being older than certain age. And I think it varies from carrier to carrier. Some say 10 years, some 15, some 20 years. But definitely when they're getting the financing, the buyers getting the mortgage, it's going to be a requirement for them to have an insurance. And few things happens when they encounter issue like this or any other issues with insuring the property is, first of all, if they can even find the carrier, right? Or what the premium is going to be, or what's deductible is going to be, because they can opt in for super high deductible, but the lenders also have some guidelines on that deductible cannot exceed certain percentage or certain amount, because if your deductible is $20,000, that's too much, right? You're gonna have hardship of paying the mortgage. So my advice is for buyers to jump onto getting the insurance as soon as possible. And I see people, nothing wrong with shopping for insurance, but they shop a lot and for a long time. It takes them a very long time to set up the policy, and then they might run into timing issue that, okay, we cannot find the carrier and we're supposed to settle soon, or contingency expires. And financing contingency, part of, even if you get commitment letter, it's gonna be it's gonna be contingent
It's
commitment that
a condition,
Yeah.
right,
right, for insurance.
that says you need to get appraisal done, you need to set up insurance, right?
Yeah.
So, and if you're not able to get insurance, then you're not gonna be able to get a mortgage. Or
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
And
It makes
you
me wonder if even like when we have buyers get, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but even when we have buyers get fully pre-approved with you, and that's when we're talking about when we waive that finance contingency, it makes me wonder, should we consider adding an addendum that even if the finance contingency is waived, there is a contingency on them
getting
obtaining
insurance.
homeowners insurance, right? I don't know. It's something that,
Yeah,
have you
because
seen anything like that in any of your contracts yet?
I have not seen that, but I'm thinking that, how sometimes you guys do pre-home inspection, maybe just let your insurance guy to run a quote for this property and see what
that's
do
a
you see? Is it gonna be problematic to get a coverage or not? And also important is like, how much is it gonna be? Because sometimes the person is pre-approved for a certain amount, and they at the top of their budget, because we calculate debt to income ratio, right? We see what the monthly payment is going to be comparing to their income, and the percentage cannot exceed certain percent. So if sometimes I've seen that they get really high premium, and it kicks them out of that acceptable debt to income ratio. And it's not only for roofs. I think it would be a good practice to do for everyone, because we don't know why this person might get higher premium than someone else. Maybe
Okay.
they had previous claims. Maybe their credit is not as good, and acceptable for the carrier. That's why they will get a higher premium, or more,
Maybe
maybe
the house had previous claims. The house has a
Right.
history of claims or something.
or the house itself,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Or the house is located in a place where it's problematic, or it's known for some issues, or
Yeah.
the roof problem, or maybe roof is new but it's not acceptable, and maybe it's flat, or it's
Right.
whatever the little perks and
Yeah.
guidelines that carriers have. We don't know them all, right? And we don't
Yeah.
want to learn hard way. So my advice is to maybe run a quote from insurance company ahead of time,
Yeah.
but also set it up as soon as possible. Don't wait until the last moment.
I think that's an excellent idea because I know with even in our experience, our roof when we bought our house, it was a cedar shake, and not all insurance carriers would cover cedar shake. And then we ended up replacing it with a metal roof, and we had no problem getting people to cover that. But because we had a claim because we had a storm damage, then our rates went up. So yeah, so that all makes sense.
Okay.
We should have that done.
That needs to be
soon.
that needs to be a part of it. And the
Yeah.
challenge in Virginia is there's no permit required for a roof. So it's really like if the insurance company sends an inspector out, it's their opinion on the age of the roof, because there's no, unless the seller has a receipt showing when it was replaced,
Right.
there's no proof of age of roof.
Yes.
So that's
Keep your
another,
roof receipts.
keep your roof receipts. So I think the summary of this is we need to make sure that it's a protocol to really advise our clients, advise our sellers, first of all, that this could be an issue, so that if somebody comes across with an addendum, that they understand, okay, we need to make sure they can get insurance. But number two is really get our buyers to get on that insurance as soon as that offer is ratified,
Right.
to make that one of the first things they do.
Yeah.
Because that could be a risk.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Even if they're already pre-approved. Yeah. Very good.
Yep.
Well, that was enlightening.
Thanks.
More work.
Yeah.
We need to keep roofs on our heads for 2025, right?
That's right. That's
Topic.
right. And in reality, in Florida, we had, when we sold our house, the buyers could not get insurance. Our roof was only 10 years old,
Yeah.
but the buyers could not get insurance because in Florida, we've got all the wind mitigation and hurricane issues, and the insurance companies were cracking down.
Yeah.
So we had to replace the roof to keep the buyer in the contract, or any future buyer. That's a thing for sailors. If there's, that's right.
I was trying to be a sailor. I don't know how to do that.
If there's an issue with a roof with one buyer, the seller has to keep in mind that that's likely going to be an issue for any buyer coming to the property. So it needs to be addressed. Stop playing with the camera. All right.
Yes, you're right.
Okay.
I was distracted.
Go back and ignore her and pay attention to that wisdom.
It was very wise.
Yes. Okay. All right. Anything else for us?
No, that's it. I'll see you next Friday.
That's right.
Yes.
If anybody needs to get in touch with you, how do they do it?
Call me 571-245-3000.
Get that number this time?
Yes, okay. Yes. Goodbye, everybody.